Here we go.
Call from.
Caller, you're live on Stuck at Night with Josh and Adam. We didn't get to your name, but let us know who you are and what's going on.
What's happening, fellas? This is Forging Thought.
What's up, Fortune Thought? Hey, man, it's I think is this our first time speaking, you and I?
I think so.
Dude, what's up, man? Pleasure to hear from you,
How you
sir.
doing?
Yes, dude, how are you doing?
I'm ups and downs. Had a little family drama the other day. My brother had a heart attack, but other than that, I'm doing all right.
Son of a bitch. I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, speedy recovery, man.
Yeah, man, that family stuff
he's alive, so that's good.
yes, that's all you can ever hope for. And family stuff is some of the most testing stuff because literally you could be like, no, I'm never fucking talking to this person again. And then something like that happens and you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Why was I being so stupid and stubborn? So I hope that wasn't the case with you and your brother. Like it is with some people.
It came out of nowhere, so the whole thing was a real surprise. It's just kind of scary because he's only 3 years older than me. So,
But you guys are close?
and, we're very close. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, Italian family. We're all very close.
Hell yes. Well, what's up, my friend? How can I
first
entertain
off-
your thoughts here tonight?
First off, that dude that the sign landed on, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, that is.
Oh my god. Did you fucking
He's dead, dude. He's dead as shit. I don't know who did the press release saying he's okay. They fucking lied.
Dude, I want their press release person. Like they're like, no, everything is okay. He's just fine. He's got a little headache. Everything is cool. Like, dude, that guy's fucking awesome. Or that gal. I don't discriminate.
Dude, Chuck Norris looked at that and said, "Dear God, nope,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's dead."
Chuck Norris put his ear to the ground and said, "This man just passed away."
Yeah, seriously, he gave the thumbs down, and it happened.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
Honestly, I was just going to touch a little bit on the shit that you said about the press and how they manipulate people and what they lead and whatnot.
Yeah, please, man, please.
You remember back when COVID first started and all that crap? Like one of the biggest things that I can point out to people that's still on the YouTube, they haven't censored it, is when in the very beginning of the CVID, Donald Trump was saying, "Okay, we don't know really what's really going on. We don't know what this is." And I was monitoring it very closely because I watch international news and stuff. And my whole family was telling me I was crazy because I was saying in November of 2019 something was going on, and they didn't believe me. But then Donald Trump said in, I believe it was January or February, that he wanted to stop travel from China. And that's when the left instantly was like, "Oh, you're xenophobic."
Racist.
And that's when the word xenophobic was everywhere.
Yup.
Everywhere.
Why
They put it in
China?
every single, you could not turn the TV on without hearing something about xenophobia. It was fucking annoying.
Yeah, man.
But that was going on. And then, so everybody's thinking like, "Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that." So they didn't do Trump's travel ban. Fast forward 3 months from then, and everybody's saying, "Oh, well, Donald Trump didn't do enough to stop COVID." Motherfuckers, I remember when you were saying the xenophobic stuff, and Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown with her mask on saying, "Come to Chinatown. Don't be xenophobic. Come, everybody, join us." They wanted it to spread, and then they do the flip-flop. The media has gotten so good about spinning their stuff and telling it the way they want it to be told that they have got people convinced they didn't see what they saw 2 months prior. It is absolutely insane, and people have either the memory of a goldfish or they're just going along with it, hook, line, and
Nah,
sinker.
it's the
I don't get
Mandela
it.
effect, dude.
Dude, they've gotten dude, excellent point. They've gotten very good. Very, very good at just I'm almost at a loss for words because I mean on this show we've talked about the media hyperbole ad nauseum where they just lie to your face and expect you the viewer, the person, to eat it hook, line, and sinker. And you're just like, no, like that's not the case.
And you know what? It's because they cover their bases and they do that crap like, Brian Stelter does the whole, "Don't listen to the spin, listen to us." They
Right.
actually convince people that if anything goes against what they're saying, that those people are just crazy. It's like, "Oh, they're just unhinged. They're just this, they're just that." It's like, don't listen to that. If anybody mentions the erection, they're unhinged. If they mention COVID, they're unhinged. Dr. Fauci can say one thing on Tuesday and say another thing that's completely the opposite on Friday, but nobody cares because CNN will do whatever he says.
It's state-run media. We played. I mean, dude, like Bill Maher. Like growing up, I like Bill Maher. Over time, it seems like he changed and I stayed the same. But it does seem like recently he's been kind of coming back around, and he made this thing back in like, fucking early COVID, early 2020. We played this at the beginning of the show. I'm not trying to sound redundant, but he was like, listen, since the beginning of time, science has called the thing wherever it's come from, MERS, SARS, the Spanish flu, like
SARS, the swine flu, the avian
yes,
flu,
he goes over all of them, and people were upset in the beginning that it was called, the China virus, which goes to your point, my point, that like people were so concerned about the name of the fucking thing as opposed to what it really was.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, that consumed everybody. People were so like, I look at the stats now and like everybody like being happy about look at all the job growth and look at how good we are doing and like
hey, because it's the tribalism, bro. They got somewhere to be. They have somewhere to belong. If you're with the masks or you're with the non-masks, you have somewhere to belong. You have your tribe. You have your gang. It's like the Warriors. It's like
literally
the people telling the truth are trying to get home to Coney, and everybody else is trying to bash him in the head.
And like the crazy thing is, and I don't want to sound hyperbolic myself, but I don't want to necessarily believe what I'm saying. I want one of them on their side to give me a beautiful counter reaction, a beautiful counter argument as to why I'm wrong, but they don't. They just say, oh, you're stupid. They use ad hominems. Like, I want a nice dialogue back and forth. And all they have for you is essentially facts that are buried within mounds of state-run media and political bias.
But no scientific data.
It's because a big symptom of that, or that is a symptom of basically. So I've had this theory for a long time. Social media has completely, it has done a lot for our society, but it's completely ruined us at the same time. Social media has done a thing where it has taken people with their individual relationships, and you'll see people on a date. They won't talk with each other, but they'll post pictures of their food. That's a fucking problem.
Bro, it's done that with families, Forging Thought. It's done that with families. I see families out to dinner.
That's what I'm getting at. There's massive tribalization going on and polarization due to the fact that everybody gives a shit more about clicks and likes and people putting their little thumbs up logo on their picture. People they don't even know, people they've never even met. More thumbs up means they care more about that than they do their individual relationships and the people they interact with on a daily basis, interpersonally or personally. It doesn't matter. And what happens with that is you get that same kind of mentality that bleeds over into their everyday life. So they give a shit more about the Jerry Springer fucking woo. If they can build a big reaction to something that's said, like if they say, "Oh, that person's unhinged and they're crazy," they'll get a bigger reaction from that than they will from actually stating facts and points and talking about a relevant problem. They would rather go for the crazy nonsense that gets people all hyped up and gets a big reaction out of it.
Right, because there's this odd juxtaposition of the right, and and this is just my personal opinion, but I see a big driver of accountability. You got to be accountable. You got to be accountable for yourself. So, like, let's just pretend you're on the left and you're calling out
How dare you?
I know, yeah. Why? I'm never going to pretend that. Let's just pretend, though, for a moment, you're on the left and you keep hearing people talk about accountability. So here you are trying to call out the things you think you could change and or help some type of accountability of. It's just we've gone so far opposite of one another on the left and on the right, where that it does feel like, and I think you've mentioned this once or twice too, Forging Thought, that it doesn't feel repairable. Do you think,
without a major kick in the ass? I don't know.
Yeah, And
fucking
do,
sad, man.
can I ask you an honest and earnest question? Do you think any
9
of that 9 inches? That's what's up. At least twice. If you want 9 inches, I'll give it to you twice. That's what I say.
What's the question, brother?
Yeah. So, my question. I don't know if you caught the joke there, but my question.
I'm ignoring it because it was funny, and I can't have that.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. How dare you be funny?
How dare you?
Can we?
How dare you?
How dare you? Blah blah blah. Can we repair? Can we make better ourselves?
You have stolen. Can we repair what's going on socially or with the news? Or
culturally, like culturally right now, I think it's more important than is what's going on with the news. I think the news is a byproduct of what is going on culturally.
So here's the problem with repairing is it takes when something's gotten this far gone from what the main objective was. And I mean, it's been drifting for a long time, but we just went from 0 to 100 quick with these last 10 years.
Right.
And the last 5 years, especially. But like I say with Donald Trump, the reason, like, I don't claim to be sorry, getting off topic for a second, but I don't claim to be conservative. I'm not I think both sides are fucking stupid. And, you know, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And the bipolar shit is nonsense. But when Trump came to office, the reason he scared the left so bad and the reason everybody freaked out more than they've ever freaked out with anybody, I mean, they used to call George W. a Nazi, and they treated Trump way worse than they ever treated W.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The reason Trump was such a problem is because he wasn't a politician. It doesn't matter if they're red or blue. They only give a fuck about the green. They only care about how they can advance themselves and advance their people. And that's why you got walking corpses like Pelosi up there spinning their bullshit so they can fucking wield their own nonsense for themselves and only themselves. They don't give a shit about anything they're actually talking about. Trump was not a politician, so that scared the hell out of them. They couldn't do politics as usual. They couldn't run their scams as usual. So they said, we got to get this dude the hell out of here so we can figure this out. If you look at people like Pelosi's net worth going in before Trump's election, every single year what her net worth was, it was going up exponentially. And then the Trump years, it was stagnant. And then after the Trump years, oh, look at that, it's going up again. Weird. It's once they've got that shit, if they continue doing that, that's the problem. And it's only become more apparent that this is happening through the Trump years because everything got so fucked so quick. In order to repair that, it almost seems like it would have to take something extreme or a massive awakening of the people. And with the way that people are buying into the media the way it is, I don't know if that's going to happen because they got people twirled around their little finger. You know what I mean? And yeah. I don't have the answer for that.
I think
scares the hell out of me that it's at that point, but that's where we are.
I think the left was afraid of Trump because it was a projection of themselves. It was a projection of how they saw themselves dealing with the government. Look at us, we're radicals, we're this, we're that. And then they saw somebody step up from the right who was just that, who wasn't a politician, who literally no new wars started under him, who literally had progressive ideas that would go against the norm that one person on the left would try to define somebody on the right as. Like Trump did, do a lot of the things that were against what the left thought would be. I mean, no new wars.
He rocked the boat. He definitely rocked the boat. But
the Abraham Accords.
Here's a great example. Trump is the first president who really gave a shit to say, "Oh, I want peace in the Middle East."
Yes, the Abraham Accords.
Signed something. He signed something for Israel, and then all of a sudden the left was all for Palestine. Like,
yep.
He's the only person that could make people anti-Semitic. It's hilarious.
And now they're all for Israel again.
Great point.
Yes. It's ridiculous how much they flip-flopped on certain things and went back and forth. And that's why, it's the encompassing thing about politics is left and right is not a flat plane. It's a circle. And once you go so far left, you end up all the way right and you're full fascist. And that's what has happened over the last several years is the left is saying, you better think the way we think or you're fucked. And if that's not the way to do it, they say you're free to think what you want. It's all about freedom or else.
What is the right thinking?
That shit don't work. What's that?
What is with that? Like, it's flipped. It's gone so polar opposite when Trump came in that it's weird where we are now, where we got some dude who can't even fucking tie his own shoes, and they're like,
but
no.
he gets pudding on Thursdays.
Well, yeah,
and don't forget, he took care of Corn Pop.
Yeah, and don't forget, he cleared his entire plate and shocked her that he ate all his food.
And he gets to tend the rabbits.
And that was a symptom.
Sorry,
and here's where people will disagree with me, but I think Biden was a symptom of the Trump reaction. It's going to sound stupid, but I do think
Biden's been a problem since the beginning of time. I mean, that
of course
has been in politics doing dumb shit forever.
Of course, and I cannot deny that.
One thing, going back, I don't want to lose a thought. People who are on the very far extreme right, and people who say that Trump is, this and that, he was not the perfect president. Nobody is the perfect president. But the thing about Trump is he's somebody that was not already in politics' back pocket. So they didn't have control of him when he came in, and that's why he was a problem. So he wasn't the president the best president there was. He probably was the best candidate at the time. But the thing is he's kind of what we needed to shake shit up and stop shit in the tracks. And unfortunately, the powers that be beyond him were able to say, okay, how can we spin this and make it work for us?
Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you that Trump was the proverbial wrench in the system. I cannot disagree with you more. And I think that even more so on the positive side of what he accomplished, as opposed to all the bullshit that we're trying to be force-fed that was negative about him.
Yes and no, because I think there's a big problem that happened in the Trump years, because the Trump years, they said, if you remember, they were saying some of the stupidest shit and saying some of the stupidest shit through COVID and through everything else. You can't wear or don't wear a doctor's mask on, they won't work unless you're treating someone with COVID or near someone with COVID. No shit. That's why we're wearing them, dumb fuck. Like, what the fuck you mean? They wanted it to spread. They were saying some of the stupidest shit in the world, and yet people were going for it. And that's the problem, because during the Trump years, they were experimenting with the dumbest shit they could say and getting away with it. So they know now they can say that stupid crap, and they have a better gauge on how to manipulate the masses. So the Trump years, unfortunately, gave them accelerated hypnosis powers, basically, on how to fool the masses into thinking just straight up dumb shit.
I would be a fucking moron if I sat here and I disagreed with that statement. If I sat here and was like, well, no, I don't think they gathered any data on how people. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I just think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. If there's a 51%, 49%, I look at Trump, I look at Biden. I don't think Trump is anywhere near the shitstorm Biden was. I think Biden is that next step in that experiment.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that the Trump years were good and bad, because Trump was a much better president than Biden ever could be, or the people pulling his strings doing the whole Weekend at Bernie's thing. But I just think that unfortunately they've gotten so good. We're 46 presidents in. They've gotten so good at figuring out how to manipulate shit on their behalf that there's not that much that can be done to stop their locomotive at this point. It's like, how do you stop the ultimate evil? Because that's when you corner the good, you corner the bad, you corner the left and the right, and they've got it all on their side, working 5 steps ahead of anything we can plan. How the fuck do you beat that?
Do you think Trump was a slow down to that, or do you think that was a subversion tactic?
I think Trump was we got to pump the brakes and figure out how we're going to beat it now thing, because they did not expect Trump to win when he won. I mean, when he beat Hillary, they were fucking shocked, and they had to they had to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. They figured it out pretty quick, and that's when they started smearing. That's when the whole Russian collusion thing started. Right. They never had anything with Russian collusion, but they still pushed it. They're still pushing it, and it's been proven that it's bullshit. and people are still fucking falling for it. I still see people on the streets talking. I run into people all the time talking about like, oh, well, we got a Russian puppet, blah 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 blah. Some people should not be giving their opinions. Some people should be at home coloring because they can't figure it out.
Yes.
Yes.
And like, dude, here's the sad part. I'm one of those people who should be home coloring. I know. I mean,
coloring's fun.
Yeah.
But if
I know. I have nothing good to say.
Somebody asks you your political opinion and you say pancakes, then it's apparent. But
it's
what are you gonna do?
It does feel like at times that we're pitted against each other. You like Trump, I like Biden. I like Biden, you like Trump. Here's what Trump did wrong. Here's what Biden did right. Here's what Biden did wrong. Here's what Trump did right. I'm
voting for Jason Voorhees or Giant Meteor.
That's what's up.
That's what I'm going for.
Giant Meteor to
Cthulhu.
Wipe the world out. Adam?
So somewhere,
Cthulhu 2020, no lives matter.
So somewhere along the way, though, don't both parties lose the point of a bipartisan system? The point of like a bipartisan system is that you have the two sides, right? You have one side that's on the right, you have the other side that's on the left, and then like you take a step back as the voter, and we're supposed to analyze. We're not supposed to join either faction. We're supposed to take two steps back and analyze what both people are saying. We're not supposed to associate with the tribe. Like, I don't give a fuck about like the next two Republican candidates if the next Democratic candidates are like genuinely better for the people.
And that right there goes to what Josh was saying earlier about how do we fix things. I think the only way that it can be realistically fixed without some like absolutely horrid event, like an abhorrent thing to happen, like civil war or something stupid like that. I think the only way for it to actually work is if enough people become, I hate using the word woke, but if enough people become woke to the fact that this shit is actually going on, they understand this shit is going on, the polarization kind of stops, and then through that, the third party candidate that they've beaten into our heads would never work. Everybody always talks about the third party never working.
It never works because no one ever tries.
What's that?
It never works because no one ever tries. It's always just it's not going to work.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If there was a third-party candidate that came up that was actually worth a damn and actually connected with the people after enough of the people were, enlightened to what's going on, then we would have a chance to turn the shit around, and maybe we'd have a chance of getting rid of the elephants and the donkeys and concentrating on America.
What do you guys, real quick, while I have you forging thought, we're talking about third parties and stuff like that, and obviously it's kind of a pipe dream. But what do you think about Andrew Yang getting together? Let me pull this up on our fucking main page. There we go. So you can see
I love some of his ideas. I just don't see how we would be able to like practically execute them. But I think he's on the right path. I don't think he's like on the
same here.
Yeah, I don't think he's on that path with ill intent like anybody else would go down.
At least he's searching.
Genuine. Yeah, he's looking for. He's like, yo, it's not perfect right now. I don't know the solution, so here might be a Band-Aid.
And he's listening to what the American people want.
He seems to have his ear to the ground, and he can actually focus on what people tell him and come up with a suitable compromise with certain situations, which is what we need.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we need as the people. We need a leader that listens, not a leader who goes in with his own opinion, his own motive, his own narrative, and just pushes it the whole time.
So the only way this government works with people having separate opinions is every single person, whether they claim left or right or independent, they're going to have an individual opinion that's unique to themselves. And the only way that a government works properly is if you have suitable and acceptable compromise between everyone. Otherwise, somebody's going to be dejected and upset and go home with their ball. And that's, people are going to be upset. But if there's actually a candidate that listens and comes up with acceptable compromise, everybody could be as happy as can be in this situation.
Right. So Yang, he's taken ex-Republicans and ex-Democrats, and he officially, I believe, what was this, on Wednesday or Thursday? On Thursday, the centrist party entitled Forward was officially formed. So they pledged to reinvigorate a fair, flourishing economy and give Americans more choices in elections, more confidence in a government that works, and more say in our future. I mean, it sounds good and all, but what do you think the possibilities of an actual third party getting. I mean, who was the dude back in the Clinton era? Was it Ralph
Ross
Nader?
Perot.
Ross Perot, yes, Ross Perot. Dude, that guy got some fucking traction back then.
Yeah, he was the last independent to get any kind of traction.
Yeah, made some fucking noise. So, I mean, at the very least, I would love to see you got left, you got right, now you got forward. I get it. Good, good name.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's perfect timing, actually. I think that if there were any time that a third party would work, it would work during a time where the rest of the establishment, the Democrats and the Republicans, are both like scrambling while everything's falling apart. I think that
Right.
It just
And
seems
we
it's gonna
have
take
no
people
confidence.
being awake to this shit.
Yeah, we know what a Democrat or Republican is. We have no confidence in that.
It
A
just
new party
seems
might
that
work.
it seems that centrists are going to be so milk toast, and I include myself in that. It
Maybe
seems
we
that
need that.
we would be too safe to say even that we are for the forward party.
But
we
we
wouldn't want to piss off both sides. You know what I
Maybe-
mean? Like it just seems like it seems like another Ross Perot thing is my point. It
And
just
see,
seems like
that's the thing we have to figure out is they've got it figured out to where they have people on the far right and the far left so amped up that they don't want to listen to somebody stating facts and talking to them calmly. They don't want to hear
Right.
that. They don't want to hear somebody telling them this, and this. That's what we got to figure out how we're going to overcome. And that goes back to that question: how do we fix it?
yeah.
How do we stop? How do you stop a bunch of charging hyenas when they're intent on eating you, but you're holding up a sign that says "I taste like shit"? They're not going to want to read it.
Yeah, like you may want to eat me, but I promise you, I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna like it.
I eat like fucking garbage. You're gonna get nothing but ibuprofen and fucking beef
Yeah.
jerky.
You're gonna get some type of liver disease if you eat me. I promise you. I'm chock full of opiates and acetaminophen. I promise you. You're gonna get hurt.
I may be Italian and Celtic, but I taste like neither.
Yeah.
I
You're-
just hope it works. I hope we find a solution that works because the alternative is terrifying. The alternative is
The
civil
alternative
war.
is mass chaos.
Yeah, it's civil war at a time where there's multiple countries that want to fuck us up. And that would be the perfect opportunity for them to do just that. And I think
we're on track to be invaded by Canada. We're in such bad shape.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
fucking
if someone
bad.
doesn't grab the wheels soon, we're crashing. Regardless of where we fucking crash, we're crashing.
So do you think a third party is gonna negate that crashing? Honestly, I don't think so.
I think it's
I
gonna
think a
crash
third party
regardless.
will facilitate the crashing, to be honest with you. I think if we sit here as left and a right, which we always have, we've always had disagreements, but for whatever reason right now it's been more politicized than ever. Like if you're against me or if you're not with me, you're against me, so to speak. That I think
I get
if-
why though. It's a desperate situation and people
Is
are
it though?
being-
What's desperate about it?
I mean, we're
Well,
we're heading towards disaster, and if someone doesn't,
Let
if
me-
someone responsible or coherent doesn't grab the wheel, we're just going to end up in the
Let me
disaster with
interject.
no leader.
Please.
One thing that's going to be the deciding factor is when the people turn more on the people. Because while the people have been at each other's throats, there's been one big wedge that's been kind of keeping everything at a cold, and that's the police. They've had people so focused on the police and violence with the police that people have turned their attention and their riots and everything else towards buildings, structures, corporations, and police. What's going to happen is if it keeps going and it 100% turns away from the police because the police are pussyfooting around everything so much now they almost can't be accused of anything, it's going to be 100% person on person, and that's when you're going to have the mini civil war going on.
Oh, it's going to get messy.
It'll
for
be
But
sure.
worse.
do you-
It'll be worse than it ever was with the George Floyd riots.
But do you think a creation of a third party will negate? I guess my point is, without kind of playing like mental mind games, is I do think a creation of a third party will only facilitate said civil war. I don't think it's going to slow anything down. I think it's just going to create more chaos and all this thing where it's like, hey, you don't got to believe me. You don't got to believe me. And if you don't believe either two, then believe me. It's just like it's more divide. It's like I agree with that mindset, but right now it just feels like we need to just have a conversation more than ever, as opposed to be like we can only have conversations with those who are in
Well,
our
that's what I
tribe.
was saying. Is it would have to coincide at the same time as citizens having the understanding of what's going on to accept that independent party. it's going to take a lot more acceptance and understanding before we could ever even get to that point. It's going to have to go hand in hand or one after the other, but it's not going to go the party first, because then they're just going to see that as something else to hate. It would have to be people willing to accept the party before it was ever even,
Right.
come to fruition.
It could buy us
So-
some time, though.
Let me
What's
see
that?
if I can.
It could be a Band-Aid, I think. I think it could be like a Band-Aid for a short period of time, or maybe like a third party being successful could lead to, I don't know, maybe it would avert the crisis from happening altogether. But like, I think that if we don't try something like that, like if we go with either party that's already broken, I think we're going to fail faster. But like, maybe we need to fail faster.
We have to try something. Like, we got to try something. It can't keep up. I don't think it can keep going the way it's going for much longer. Honestly, the dollar is going to keep falling. We're gonna keep going into a non-recession that doesn't exist.
right. Yeah, it does.
It's,
We do seem like now more than ever, and I don't know, Forging. When were you born? When were you founded on this great earth?
I was founded in 1985.
1985. I was founded in 1987. Adam, how about you?
94.
94. I do believe with all of our dates spread with all of our dates spread out, I still think this is one of the most divisive times we've been a part of. Would you agree, Forging?
Absolutely.
We got Eli back on with us, sir. What's up, Eli? Are you back there, buddy? Hang on, let me
not quite. I have to mute the background if you can't hear.
hang on one second.
Fantastic. I got it. Boom.
I hope you know right now, Sir Eli, we have Forging Thought on with us. Let me hide self view so I can bring you on over here and make this.
I'm very happy. I feel partly responsible and grateful that I got to meet Forging through Steve Harloa. He's also going live. He's also live right now, but this is somebody that he's going to be, I think, one of the first guests, and I'll reveal nothing more than that.
First guest on
he's
Progressive
here.
Patriot. Gotcha. You only think of that show. Gotcha.
What the fuck? No, asshole. I said here. Yeah.
Progressive
okay.
Patriot.
No. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Right, asshole.
I really, really hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
I'm
Me
sorry.
too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
seriously,
You-
man.
you know,
This is fucking
It's
broke.
my fault.
it's not
my
your fault.
Damn
Hey,
it, man,
hey,
you're ruining the
look at
family.
me. Look at me. Look at me. You got nothing to do with this. It's fine. You're fine. We
Here
love
in the
you.
background.
Look at him.
You're-
He's
you're
doing
good.
the thing where he explains how it's not your fault, but it really is. Ugh.
Eli, we were just talking about the forward
I
party.
thought you what?
The forward.
We were just
part.
talking about the forward party and
The Ford party.
forward.
Mr.
Yeah,
Yang.
you got left, you got right, you got forward.
Forward.
And one of my comments was, and I'd like to see where you fall in line with this, but I was thinking it's furthering the divide right now. We are left, we are right, and right now you're gonna integrate a third party that says I neither agree with left or right, and now I agree with this, and it just seems like we're getting so divisive. What do we do? Eli, give us the answer, please.
That actually sounds like a high risk, high reward kind of an offer, even though notoriously throughout our history, something like the Green Party, which has existed for some time, never got traction, success. They were always laughed at. Family Guy even makes fun of them in a brilliant episode. But at some point, we as a people need to take a third party seriously. And if the powers that be see that, then we can move forward.
Forging
Okay.
Thought and us, we spoke upon Ross Perot. How did you feel about
I
Ross
noticed.
Perot?
I was a big fan. He was the last guy of his era to go up there and try to literally educate voters. Okay, unlike today where it's a soundbite and that's all you need. Let's go Brandon or grab her by the whatever. Okay. This guy would actually educate people on his policies at every opportunity. And he was a rich guy, but he was really trying to save America money.
And I
listen, the guy sharing information was known as being the crazy one.
I feel part of the problem because when I look at that, I'm like, a third party is never going to work. Yet I sit here and I talk about how both sides should get along, but I don't think ever, 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 ever where a third party mediator will come in and make left and right see together. If anything, the mediator will get left and right to come together to be like, well, fuck that guy because he doesn't want to make up his mind at all.
Then so be it.
Then so be it. Goddamn forging
Because
thought.
then we got unity.
Whomever's trying to pull whomever, I suppose if a third party were to intelligently try to garner support, that they would do so. Oh God, don't have a Biden moment. Nope. What?
There it comes.
What? No. What were we just talking about, guys?
Talking about unity, Eli.
Yeah. Who does that?
And the idea that a third party may not bring upon unity necessarily advertently, but inadvertently, because the two parties will come together and be like, well, fuck this party because they're not for either of us.
Well, there's
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh.
I heard Adam.
I think that there's always going to be an inherent risk of them being addressed as an adversary immediately. But like, if that's the party that the people choose, then to be a foe of that party is being a foe of the people, and then they just show their
Good
hand.
point.
We need the representation that doesn't exist right now, and that's what a third party means to me. It means that the voice of reason, which you could easily conflate with a shameless plug as being stuck in the middle.
But that is a good point that Adam brought up, that anytime you go against or contradict said party, you're perceived as against them.
Yeah, you get ostracized. You're a dissenting voice.
But
you become
Right, and
not of the team.
a big part of that also is, the independent party and third parties in general, it's been ingrained in people's minds and it's been ground into people's heads that they're a joke and they don't even need to be taken seriously. And that's a very strategic thing that they do, because that keeps it between the two-party system and keeps the power in their hands. It's going to take someone really charismatic and someone who really has their wits about them to throw a monkey wrench into that shit and get it to kick off, because people can wake up if they're shown the right shit.
We're in full Sun Tzu mode. That divide and conquer is happening right now, and it's been happening for a long time. This is why a third party has always been so fascinating to me. So there could be a standing chance for, I believe a third party could be the rational thinkers, but we're so divided that it's going to remain just pure hyperbole. And you can see, look how censored YouTube is, and we got 3 different conservative channels for everybody to be in their echo chambers.
But the third party
discuss,
and I guarantee you, a lot of those people who subscribe or who coincide with those conservative channels would agree with some type of third party, because they're leaning conservative because they are going against what the quote unquote left is doing. Just as if the most safe and secure election ever in the history of elections, people essentially only voted against Trump. They didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump.
My greatest fear is that we are going to go through a different side of people voting for now a Democrat to get the fuck out, which is Biden, because he's all of that to all of us. All right, we're all in on the F Brandon joke. There's maybe 3 people I can think off the top of my head that have a supporting Biden picture. Okay, people are just going to vote for Biden to get out. So that makes me objectively afraid of.
We're talking about a guy who campaigned on "I have hairy legs." So it's kind of hard.
Precisely.
Yeah. And we're talking about a guy who campaigned on, getting the economy back to where it is, getting us out of, the CV-19.
You can't propose otherwise. Don't be dissing. Fake news.
But
fake news.
All I see is people who compare numbers from the economy during COVID to where we are now after COVID. And they're like, this is the strongest growth since 1984.
Yeah, because they're fucking retarded and they don't know how to fucking read. That's why.
Forging thought, brother man.
Spoon-fed this shit.
Josh, I told you you'd like forging. I told you.
I love forging. I'm just trying to... And you know what? Here's the thing, is where I'm probably being redundant to forging is he already knows, but I'm kind of doing it in a way to also let the audience know that,
Preach on, brother.
Majority of the people I talk to believe those stats. Like one of my good friends, Paul the producer, sends me stats that see Biden has had the most strongest economic growth since 1984. And like I sit there and I look at my
and I
phone.
would love him and squeeze him and call him George.
Yeah, George, how you doing, George? I look at my phone
Pancake.
and I'm like, duh, 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 duh. And I just bash my head in on it because that's all I can do. Because I've told them time and time again that those numbers, sir, the growth that you speak of, specifically for jobs, we lost a bunch of jobs during COVID. And now that we're trying to catch back up, that simple graph that goes up like that, now that we're trying to play catch up, if they quote
And
that
2
out of
weeks ago,
context,
it was the same shit with gas. The single biggest drop in gas prices in it. Gas was $7 a fucking gallon down the street from my goddamn house, and you're going to tell me that it dropped? Fuck you.
Yes.
It's just
Doing it,
fucking
Eli.
stupid.
it's the no
You just
forging,
did
you're
an
spot
Eli.
on.
Thank you,
It's
Forging.
the same kind of it probably makes more sense because the majority of people buy gas every day. And right now, the joke I made with a lot of people is like, oh my God, I can find gas for under $4 a gallon. I'm going there. And it's like, bitch, remember when gas was under $2 a gallon, you dumb motherfucker?
Dude,
and now you're pretending like $4 a
tell
gallon
everyone,
is like
when I
to
was-
be paraded.
When I was 16 years old, I got my driver's license, and gas hit $2 a gallon 2 weeks after I got my license in California. I lost my fucking mind. I'm like, how am I going to be able to afford $2 a fucking gallon?
You're
If I could go
85,
back
right?
and punch myself in the fucking dick and tell myself to save some gas money, I would love that DeLorean because holy shit, things have gone south.
Bro, I remember when I started driving. You were born in 85. I'm 87. I started driving. I remember when I started driving exactly with what you're saying. When gas hit $2 a gallon and everyone was like, oh my God, this is a ripoff. Yeah, exactly. Like people were getting a little concerned when it hit $1.89. Like, whoa, you better slow down there, son.
Should take
This
him
is
to the
getting-
pumps now, dude.
Exactly. So, but it's the same concept. It's like we get conditioned to where like it starts to go up slowly, it spikes up real high, and then it comes backwards, and it'll never go.
Dude.
And it'll never
like-
go
it's like
lower,
pulling in a sea
forging,
bass.
and it's never gonna go lower. If they know they can make
Yeah.
X amount, I guarantee you,
And
until
here's the
somebody
thing,
else comes along.
because it fucking drops down X amount and comes back up. The thing is, it never goes back down to what it was. The gas
Right.
with Trump was the lowest it's been in a long fucking time.
Bro,
It's just like fishing.
Since I
pull in a
started
bunch of lines
driving-
and let out just a little bit. You pull in a bunch.
I
and
have
let
to
out a
say,
little
good
bit.
night, gentlemen. I have to turn in. Thank you for having a fantastic Exodus stuck. You know, if I could have had off tomorrow, that would have been great.
Stuxodus.
But I have a double.
dude, I wish I had
Thank
off
you.
tomorrow too. That's fun.
Same, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everybody that's here right now. And the best way you can support us, hit sub, hit the like button, help us gain the traction. But no, there's more to come. And Foraging here
Giggity.
is going to be our first guest. That's all. Good night, everybody. Josh, I love you, man.
All right, buddy.
You're not going
Have a
to
good
leave
one,
the
Eli.
area before
Later, man.
I'm going to come say goodbye.
Yeah.
Adam,
dude.
thank you for joining us
I got
again.
some time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. And to the audience, good night, everyone.
All right, buddy. Later,
Peace.
Eli.
I do.
Eli, that's it. That was the last time we will see Eli in studio with that. Forging, real quick, refresh me. Where the fuck were we just were? He just kind of threw me off with that son of a bitch.
So we were talking about the gas and all that shit. And,
Okay, yeah. So
where do we go from here?
essentially, I guess the point more so was, we've been here before. We were kind of teased with high gas prices. Then we get walked back down, but we never get walked back down to where we were before. So everybody praising that. Look, gas is under $3.99. My prediction,
It's hypnosis, dude. It's
Yes.
hypnosis.
and my prediction,
I was
which
a-
is everybody else's,
compared-
is gas will never
Yeah.
be under $2.99 again, unless
Check it
there's a
out.
different
I used to
president.
be, I call it hypnosis because it's similar to something I've seen with addiction. I used to be a DJ in a strip club for a couple of years, and I would see people plug in $100 bills into those lottery machines all day long. The same people, 100, 100, 100, 100. And I would watch somebody put in, $700, and then at the end of the night, they'd win back like 200, and they'd come up showing off their money and be like, "Hey, I won." They think they're a winner.
Right.
It's the mass hypnosis of this shit. And honestly, I don't. The biggest issue with it, and going back to what we were talking about before the gas, is people are so hyper focused on, if it was a scale of 1 to 100 as far as the way people believe, left or right, some people are so hyper focused on 0, and some people are so hyper focused on 100 that they don't want to hear anything in between. And here we are, there's a bunch of people like us who are sitting around 50 waiting for everybody else to come in and have a conversation, and unfortunately they can't hear us right now. We just got to figure out how to get everybody at 50 to chat. And whether that's third party, whether it's whatever, I mean, we got to figure it out sooner. We're fucked.
So another question I do like to ask is, when this, like the type of tribalization conversation comes up, Forging, do you find one side is more tolerant than another? Because I hate to say it, I do find that one side is more tolerant of the other side's opinions as opposed to the other side. And it's not a leading question. It's a legit and honest question.
I'll tell you what I see with it. I see the right being more blunt and deliberate with blunt and honest with what they say, as far as not giving a shit what other people think about what they say. And I see the left as being more manipulative and leading with what they say, almost trying to bait the right and people who support the right into different, like, ooh, we're going to trap them into saying this kind of a thing. They're more conniving.
Right.
And I think that's a much more dishonest approach to it, which is, loathsome.
It does appear to me, and, people fucking hate me while I say this, and I'm going to get in trouble when I move up to Gainesville and I got to go to Georgia and fucking try to pretend to be in some skits and stuff like that. But goddamn, bro, it does seem to me that right now the fucking intolerance is coming from the left. I hate to say it.
Absolutely.
It seems like all the bullshit, all the pushback, all the negativity, for the most part.
That's why I said earlier. That's why I said it circles all the way around to come full right to be full fascist.
Forging thought. Can I give you an old example that I used to bring to Adam, to Eli here? To me, this is
go nuts, brother.
This is how I see the left and the right. Every day I leave my house, I walk down the street, and I pass by this gentleman on the right-hand side. He's full of track marks on both sides of his arms. He's always begging for money. He's shaking. He doesn't look good. He's on my right-hand side. Every day for 3 months, I pass by him. I see him. I'm used to his tactics. I've seen him try to trick me and tell me he wasn't an addict and that actually he was just feeling sick that day and he would like some money for Benadryl. I've seen him try everything under the sun. Finally, on the fourth month, first day, so 3 months go by. I'm on the fourth month, but the first day. I'm walking down that same exact street, and I pass by the gentleman on the right-hand side, and he's doing the same old thing. He's shaking. He doesn't feel good. He's trying to ask me for money. And I look to my left this time, and little did I know, every time I passed this gentleman on the right-hand side, I saw this person on the left. But I never paid any mind to him because he had a long-sleeve shirt on. He looked clean. He looked kempt. He looked like he took care of himself. And every time I walked by the person on the right and gave him man, you should do better, I looked over to that guy on the left, and he looked at me, and he concurred with me saying, man, that guy should do better. But on this fourth month, on this first day of this fourth month, the gentleman on the left wasn't wearing a long sleeve shirt. And I noticed the track marks on his arm. And I noticed they went all the way up his arm. And I noticed the track marks on the other side of his arm. And I went to him and I said, hey, are you okay? And he said, no, wait, stop, stop. Look at that guy. Look at the guy on the right-hand side. He's the one that's your problem. And my point and my moral to the story is I've walked by the guy on the right all the time. I'm used to his issues. I'm used to his concerns. I'm used to his tactics. This was the first time when I walked by the left and I completely noticed the bullshit they were trying to pull. And all they did was try to tell me, no, look at the guy on the right. He's the problem. All they did was try to deflect. How long has that been going on for?
Now let me expand on that.
Please.
That story that you just told, take everything into account on everything in that anecdote you just shared. After you leave, after figuring that out, because those are the people that you see in the open, the people who are really in power, the people who really have the highest stakes in government, that would be the drug dealer that shows up after you've long gone and you've never seen, who gives them this shit.
That says, hey, if you keep selling this, you're going to get some money. There's a reason why you're out here.
Bang. You got it.
Yeah, no. I mean, what you're saying is totally on par, and it makes me sympathize for both. And this is why I find myself in such a conundrum sometimes to try to just stupidly play devil's advocate to somebody.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
right.
So I try to reason with people instead of just saying "fuck you" and walking away, because I try to show them, like, look, dude, you're being misled.
Forging, and I can guarantee you, tell me if I'm not wrong, you have your steadfast opinions, but out of fucking nowhere, on a whim, you'll play devil's advocate to somebody's opinion who, without you telling them, you agree with, but just to make sure that they're not blindsided by their opinion, you will still play that devil's advocate. You'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. And, you won't tell them your full opinion on that yet because you don't want them to kind of comfortably agree with you. You want, like
all day long. All day long.
Bro, dude, same here. That's the same thing.
Dude, I used to do a lot of shit, and I used to get in a lot of bar fights. I used to tell people I don't beat people up. When in a fight, like a street fight, nobody learns anything from getting their ass kicked. You can't just wail on somebody on the ground and expect them to learn something. Instead, you handle the situation, get it under control, and then tell them what they did wrong, and then they can fucking remedy their behavior and fix it. You can't get anywhere by calling somebody names or just being, throwing ad hominems or doing something, because any kind of rejection they feel towards you is going to be validating their opinion that they had in the first place, and vice versa. They're gonna feel like they had a point to distrust anyone else's opinion,
right?
And you're gonna feel like, oh, their opinion is just fucking garbage. I knew it. But you don't get anywhere from that, and society can't advance and evolve like that. You need to find a way to have some type of, not even common ground. You don't even need common ground. You just need a comfortable enough place for both people to sit down, present both their ideas. And the thing is, if you get all ideas out on the table, people will make the right decisions on their own.
You're not even allowed to have those conversations. I forgot what you're saying. I completely agree with. I had something to add on that, but essentially the idea is, if you're against me, if you don't agree with me, you're against me. And even people on the same exact side, like, let's just say I'm on the right, I'm on the left, and I disagree with somebody who's on the right, who's on the left. That means I'm against them. You're a motherfucker.
It's ego and insecurity, man. It's people having their walls up, and they can't let their walls.
But where does that come from?
And accept.
Where does that come from? Why are people? What happened? What happened in the past? Is this that fucking Russian dude who told us, by the way, we're gonna destroy you from the inside out?
A big part of this is people like the media and people in the power, on the talking idiot box. that tell people this is how you need to feel and this is how you should feel because reasons. And it's playing on people's insecurities and, you know, everything that people are not okay with. They're feeding on those insecurities like fucking vampires, and they're convincing people that all of their fears and all their problems are because of blank and blank, and you need to fear blank and hate blank. And if you have any dejection or any kind of opinion that goes likewise, you're with them and you're no good and you're an idiot and blah 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 blah.
God damn, dude.
It's teaching people that if they go against anything, and not even going against it, but if you listen to, like, say, someone on the left, if you listen to someone who's on the right, if you'll sit there and have a conversation with a Trump supporter, you're no good to us and you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they fear rejection so much because of the shit they've been spoon-fed that they will fucking bleed their own soul out and go, even some people go against what they know to be correct just so they won't face that rejection and face cancellation.
Yeah.
It's
from their own
pretty
side.
much what it boils down to.
From their own side.
Yeah. Cannibalizing themselves.
So,
and that's the problem, is you've got a self-relying, a self-reciprocating system where
Right.
it's like, oh, we've got them schooled enough, we've got them indoctrinated enough, they'll take care of themselves. We can take an eye off them for a second.
and
You know, they don't even have to fucking babysit anymore.
and it feeds off extremes. So
Mhm.
the other extreme confirms the other extreme, and that goes back and
Exactly.
forth. So, like,
That's what I said about the 0 and 100 thing. They're so focused on 0 and 100, they have no idea what's going on between 1 and 99 because they won't have a word of it.
right. So, how does there? This is gonna sound fucking like kind of creepy, but like, does there have to be sacrifices? Like, as in which side sacrifice themselves to like allow the other side to listen, hear me out. This is what I'm really, because like right now, nobody is hearing nobody out. Okay.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to hear nobody out. I have no reason to hear you out if you are on the right. I'm on the left. All my information dictates my opinion. I've seen it confirmed. I've seen it time and time again that tells me why I believe this is the way I believe.
I think
Why
you're-
the fuck am I going to hear somebody on the right who has the same exact opinion, but it's based
I got an answer
off
to that.
their bias, or rather their facts that they like?
And I got an answer
How
to
do
that.
we morally take that to like an end? Let Adam answer real quick, forging thought, and then I want you to
Let him
answer.
go, and then I'll go.
No worries.
I think personally that the answer is hidden in the question, right? Like, how do you solve that? You solve that within the problem itself.
Mm.
Like, it's not something that can be solved externally, and I think that's why everybody keeps on failing at solving it. But the problem with the internally, right, is you have to get the other side to stop reeing for long enough to listen to you. And then you have
How
to
do you do that? How do you
it-
get the other side to listen to something that they think is morally incorrect? How do you break through to them?
Well, the simulation's broken, so we're living in an RPG now, and like everything depends on a D20 roll, man. You just gotta hope you got some good charisma.
Nerd.
Yeah, like, but that
Everything depends on stats now.
yeah, everything depends on stats now, man. Like it
Well-
literally, we're gonna be China 2.0. We're gonna have a social status that like literally
dare
dictates
you.
whether or not
That
you're a
sounds
citizen or
horrible.
not.
Yes. Forging, I'm with you. How dare you? Forging, how do you
I got
combat?
something for that though.
Yes, please.
I hear you, and
How
I
dare you.
agree. It's so quick little background, and it'll roll into what I'm saying. So the reason I go by Forging Thought is when I was in Portland, I lived in Portland for 11 years. I hosted a thing called the Thought Forge, and the Thought Forge was a monthly get together we would host where we would literally it was all invites with only 3 rules: no fighting, no screaming, and no cussing. And we would write a topic on the whiteboard, and everybody could just sit down, present facts, and there was no conclusion. It was like a debate, but there was no conclusion to be drawn. It was just discussion openly about a topic, and let everybody go home and think about it. And it was great.
That's pretty cool. What
with
happened to that?
It got firebombed because Rose City Antifa didn't like what we were doing.
Really?
Of course not. You guys
Yeah.
were getting along. They can't have that. That's not
Yeah,
what they're
the
saying you're doing.
month before we got firebombed, we had a National Socialist skinhead hugging a black dude afterwards. So,
Oh yeah,
but anyway.
dude, they can't have that whatsoever.
How dare you try and
do you do
actual
anything like that,
progress?
dude? Because you would listen. Forging thought. Can I give you a compliment real quick? You are
Shoot.
very you're very fair with how you provocatize a conversation. It like, if I may, it's not far fetched at all in how you frame a devil's advocate response. So, are you telling me there's nowhere anybody else who is listening right now can find you on a podcast? You're a free agent sitting out there?
So because of what I thought, I told you my stance on social media.
Right.
I have a Facebook and I have a Snapchat that I haven't opened in 2.5 years, and it's
God
because
damn,
I
you're a
protested
beast.
social media for so long. I had to get rid of it.
Right.
Plus, I also had a horrible bitch ex-wife that I had to cut touch. But it is what it is.
Heard that.
We wanted different things. I wanted to travel, see the world, do good, and she wanted to be a cunt. But
Yep, women
so-
like to do that. I'm telling you, they're really good at
Yeah.
doing that part.
but I had to do a lot of growing and everything like that. And it's just I haven't been online, and honestly, I've come behind the curve on technology and stuff. And I just purchased a new laptop, and I'm on my phone right now, but I purchased a nice microphone and a camera and all that shit so I can do casting and whatnot. And actually, Eli's kind of the one that kicked me in the ass and inspired me to put my voice out there. He kind of convinced me that people would want to hear what I had to say. So,
Well, that's fucking
that's-
good because
change up.
Eli should pay it forward. I'd like to also throw this out to you. Once Stuck at Night gets back going, let's have you on again. Let's figure some shit out. I'm not sure what Eli will be able to commit to in the future, which I'm pretty sure he'll be able to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. But let's just say, maybe if all goes well, we do a little we do a little trial run. We have a little fun. We talk about some bullshit articles. But maybe you can come on a Wednesday, be a like a second mic on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? So that's your
fucking A,
call,
man.
though. I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but you got to give us till at least August 22nd to really get anything going again, because hot damn, we're out for a minute. So
yeah, for sure, dude. It's your barbecue. I'd love to help it taste good.
yeah,
So-
dude, dude, that's what's up,
Why not?
dude. That dude, right there, that answer right there, that is fucking sexy AF. Wow, damn. All right, Fortune, well played, dude. Well fucking played, my
Let me-
man.
But let me finish what I was going to say with the
Yes,
last
please.
thought, though. Telling you about the Thought Forge and what I was doing with that, it goes into I don't think anything can be accomplished by saying whose thoughts need to be axed or who's right, who's wrong. I think what needs to happen is all emotions and all opinions need to just go out the fucking window. All feelings need to go away. And we need to have a real moment where we say, okay, your feelings and your feelings, both of you, shut the fuck up and sit down, because what we're going to do is we're going to put all the fucking everything that's real and everything that's an actual fact about individual topics, say abortion, say
Right.
whatever. We're going to put all the facts about this on the board, all emotion out the fucking door, and we can come up with real compromise and actual conclusions based on fact alone, real compromise, how everybody can get along with something, and not have it be this polarized bullshit that it has been, because politics has been driven too long by emotions and feelings and not driven by the facts and what needs to get done for this country to move forward as it should.
God damn it, you son of a bitch! You're saying fucking
Motherfucker spit
everything. No, seriously. Time and time again, we do see politics kind of divided by feelings, whether it be the left or the right. But right now, it does seem, I hate to say it, but predominantly being taken over feelings by the left, and feelings right now are more important than facts, and that just keeps repeating itself from time and time again. And you kind of find yourself at a crossroads at sorts, being like, well, do I not even saying that this show or anybody else's show is fucking doing the Lord's work, so to speak, look at us, but just so I have an opportunity do I say that's bullshit or do I say, yeah, I agree with it? Right? It's as simple as that. And the more people who state their opinion on a simple subject, the more that simple subject becomes more hard hitting. And I'm not, yeah, I think it's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I think that thing is bullshit. Adam?
Exactly what it is. It's fucking nonsense. Complete nonsense.
And the fact you're not allowed to have an opinion on it, you just got to shut your mouth on it. This is what it is. Like, and if you speak against the grain, what do you got? I see you wincing.
That's my biggest problem right there. Compulsory speech. Like, so like you want to.
But what's compulsory? Is compulsory the sinks is compulsory, and I'm challenging you.
You have to remember that's relative though.
Right. Okay. Check this out, Forging. Is compulsory speech the thing saying you can't talk about it? Or is the compulsory part in response to them saying you can't talk about it?
I feel like
or
it's
is it both?
Forcing you to talk about something or forcing you to accept a thing rather than allowing you to sit back and look at the facts, right?
What's that exactly?
Right. So, the other one would be repressive speech.
Yeah, specifically with like certain communities that are out there that have a lot of letters.
Yes.
I think that they come up with these terms that have no scientific backing. And I'm a champion of science, like if I want to see if something's real, I go to science. Yeah. And if science doesn't say that it's real, then like, I don't know, 5 years ago, if science didn't say that it was real, it wasn't fucking real. So like what changed? Where was the paradigm shift? Why are we being forced to believe these things that aren't even like backed by logic or fact or science?
Yeah.
These things that used to fucking matter. It's just backed by opinion, and I feel like this should be a thing. And it's like, that's cool that you feel that, but like your feelings don't fucking matter. You're an adult now. Pay taxes or shut the fuck up.
One of my biggest things, to your point, and it's also to their point, is they're like, well, how do you know? And like literally, I look at them and I say, how do you know?
Exactly.
If you're gonna if we're gonna discount what you just said, Adam, and we're gonna break it down to what I'm saying is just like that basic, well, how do you know what that is? So it's like, no, literally, you can't do that because then now I'm allowed to be like, well, how do you know? Now we're playing Abbott and Costello bullshit.
And that's the current political climate.
We're all seeing the same shit. Like I agree with what Adam was saying. I observed the same shit Adam was saying. And one of the things that I think about the social media thing is it goes like everybody thinks they're fucking special and everybody thinks their opinion matters when they don't mean dick in the grand scheme of things. And that's the problem, is everybody tried to insert their own stupid bullshit into it, trying to say that their opinion matters more than everybody else. And as soon as you challenge that, they go on a fucking warpath and read up.
Right.
So
and my point to further Adam's ideology or his view on that, rather, I don't mean ideology, is the fact that if those people think that, then how do they really get over the fact that one opinion is different from the other? Are they that narcissistic where they think that their opinion is 100% over like their friends' opinion? Like, it does seem like it's rooted in this really weird like ego trip kind of thing where like,
how many retweets does it get?
Right, exactly. Like this social media, like I'm gonna come out and call it out, but I'm only calling it out because look at all the accolades I get.
Because people are watching. If nobody was watching, no one would call anybody out.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you had to call people out face to face, certainly no one would call anyone the fuck out.
Everybody feels a little more
TV,
comfortable.
Their fucking computer, their cell phone. It's just like the lyrics of the song, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. It's fucking,
oh my god. Okay, Disturbed and fucking who the neon god they made. So, yeah, dude, good fucking pull, bro. Exactly. That's what's like, and that's what they were.
Good ones I pull up every once in a while,
dude. That's what they were literally fucking like, arguing against. They were like, like here you are now. Now you're like, look at you. You become, you are now worshiping this thing that somebody before you made as this thing that was supposed to be nothing, was supposed to be like an ad, was supposed to be just a little piece of what everything was, and now you identify as what that piece of what everything was supposed to be was. You completely misconstrued
Yeah.
their importance behind.
Our entire society has become Zoolander.
Yeah.
You remember back in the day in the late 80s and in the
Merman.
early 90s when people used to make fun of fashion, how fucking ridiculous the fashion runway shit was? That same amount of ridiculousness has become our everyday reality, and people accept it as being a normal thing. It's that same, what the fuck is that shit? Oh, that's how it's going out now? Great.
Well,
Like-
how do you destabilize a society that's filled with strong, manly men? You make it an unpopular
Fire
idea
and
to
lots
be a
of it.
strong, manly man, right? So everybody is no longer a strong, manly man. So we figured out that part. So now we're going to attack because there's no strong, manly men defending the country. And like, I'm not saying that like men are the best at whatever, but like, I mean, people have made great points. Like most of the conquerors in history were men. Most of the people who laid the foundations for how we live today were men. So like,
Well, that gets into the whole might is right argument of things.
and it's not to say that like men are greater than women or whatever. I just think that like we can accept that both genders bring something different and separate and both equally important to society.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean
Absolutely.
that one's greater than the other. And like I think that I don't know. I don't think anybody was saying that they were greater than anybody else, or like at least I didn't think it was a popular idea until people told me it was.
Right.
Mhm. I mean, that you get into so many different things with that. That could be a whole discussion for another night. You talk about the physiological differences and everything that some people biologically choose to ignore for some reason, and I don't understand that. It's like if you're going to ignore the fact that a mid card fighter who was fucking not good at all, like a amateur at best MMA fighter, became a woman, and in the first fight in women's division crushed the skull of another woman, and you're going to say that there's no physical difference, you're fucking retarded, and you have no place in this argument.
Well, that's where science comes into it, right? Because regardless of what hormones you're on, there's still a 33% difference in muscle mass.
Oh, there's bone density, there's muscle, there's fast twitch fibers, there's all kinds of different things that go into the
There is
physicality
a
of it that make a man different than a
biological
woman.
difference. Yeah, there's a biological difference. So
There's
you can
there's
change the
a
exterior,
notable
but there's
biological
still...
difference you can fucking look at.
My friend's a pharmacist, and he was telling me the other day, he's like, even if someone's transitioning, they like, so if someone transitioned from male to female, they still have to take male prescriptions till they die because that's the way their body's set up.
If you go through puberty as a male, your body is just straight up different. There's no denying that.
There are people who think you can pause puberty.
Well,
They think you can pause puberty
why are we even
by
trying to?
using puberty. Well, because they're trying to give a little kid who is allegedly undecided, even though at that age we don't let them drive, they don't make adult decisions, they don't do any type of that stuff. But at that age, we'll let them decide what type of gender they are. If they decide they are, let's say, a male who wants to be a female, even though you have men who have feminine traits, you have females who have masculine traits. As this brilliant documentary said, called "What Are Women?" Like, does that mean we change everyone who has those traits into what those traits are?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's very
No,
complicated.
and another big argument I hear coming from the left, especially, and pretty much only from the left, is when people talk about these things, there's a huge read that comes from the crowd that says, "What about intersex? What about this and this and this?" They're talking about a group of people who make up 0.0001% of the population as outliers in genetic. I'm not going to say defect, but genetic variation that is not the norm. And they're basing an argument off that, which is not a good faith argument. But people are eating it up for some fucking reason. I don't get it. It's like, how do you rationalize something so fucking stupid?
Listen, man, here's where I try to be a little more genuine at the very least. And I'm not, this is nothing against you, dude. I'm just saying, like, I try to be like, listen, if that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be. Like, I'm not going to call you anything different. But when we get into, let's say we get into female sports, we get into female contact sports, you're going to force me to then look at those differences as to why a male who transitioned at the age of 38 for 2 years and is now 40, who's a female MMA artist who has the bone structure, the bone density, of a man, because you're in puberty till 12, 14 years old. At that point, that's why the NCAA banned trans athletes who don't transition by the age of 12. It's where do you put the average everyday person? You put them in such a weird predicament where they're like, listen, I want to judge you for who you are, but I also don't agree with that. But I'm trying to figure out how maybe I could, it's so much.
Here's where we got to go with that.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing against trans people at all.
No.
I have 2 trans friends that are both male to female.
I have a trans cousin.
They're fucking awesome people.
Trans cousin, female to male.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So I'm just a very real, here's what it is, and this is what we're dealing with thing. My 2 trans friends, they're both of the state of mind. Neither one of them believe in the 27 different genders, 10,000 different genders, because they said, I was a man and I transitioned to a woman. I am a woman. And that's what they say. And they say that's what's going on. However, if you look at sports that are involving physicality and like contact sports, like you're saying, and like mixed martial arts is the one I always go to, because if you watch a fighter named Fallon Fox,
yep,
which I got nothing against Fallon Fox transitioning, more power to her. That's awesome. The problem is Fallon Fox was a shitty fighter when she happened to be a dude, and she was not a good fighter. She was amateur at best, and then she got a pro card after transitioning into a woman. And you watch her fights that were televised, and I'm sorry, but you see a burly ass dude beating the fuck out of a woman who was an elite fighter who just happened to be rolling around with a dude kicking her ass. And it's shitty for me to say that because Fallon was a woman at the time, but it's not. When you watch it, it's painfully obvious there's a physicality difference that it cannot be undone with any amount of hormones. It's just a fact.
Yeah, there is something to say about somebody who was, born a female gender, who transitions later in life to a male, as opposed to somebody who was born a male who transitions later in life to be a female. At the very least, I think we can all agree that if you're a male and you transition to a female, there seems to be a little bit more advantage for you as opposed if you were a female who transitioned to a male. Can I assume that correctly?
You're talking about the advantage in sports?
Exactly. Pretty much.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like the fact that you were once a male, and we've seen time and time again statistics, Leah Thomas, her previous
everything having to do with bone structure. I mean, the bones of a human being is the only way you can tell if it was a male or female after death, because
we
the
don't
pelvis
like
is different,
that
the thickness is different.
I'm not gonna lie,
there's
Adam seems to be a little against this though. Like, do you have something to counter this right
I'm
now?
just saying,
You're a little interested in this.
It's just the whole like male to female, female to male thing. Like I almost buy it, right? But then maybe
have you seen what is a woman?
No, but I've heard it quoted.
I'm gonna send you this link later. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But like for me, it's a little confusing, right? So like, I'll buy it. You're a male who wants to transition into being a female. Cool. So why do you still want to be a top? Why do you still want to do the non-female?
I don't think sexual preference has any, like what they do in the bedroom has anything to do with what we're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying like where's the thought process here, right? Like if you want to completely be a woman and you want to that's your thought process with going into the transition, right? Or you want to completely be a man and that's the thought process of going into the transition, then wouldn't you think that all the actions and the mindset and the responsibilities and the societal expectations would follow suit with that?
I mean,
that gets into a gray area though, because I mean, why would half of the lesbian population dress like men if they only like women and they hate men?
I mean, That's a fair
Damn,
point.
that's a fucking fair point. Fair point. Forging your, like, you should call yourself forcing thought.
I'm not forcing anything. I just say
No,
shit
it's a
and
joke.
hope
Hey,
somebody
hey.
finds it interesting enough to.
It was
think
a
about you know what I
beautiful
mean?
joke. It was a beautiful joke, meaning, but the joke was based in 100% truth because you are forcing thought with that very, very true idea there. So, like, yeah, don't, please, I hope you don't take that.
No. See, I knew you were joking. I just got you to think about it twice, though.
God damn, you got me, you son of a bitch. But
But then there's like a secondary angle, right? Like
Adam,
I've
can you
heard-
hold it down for like 2 seconds?
Yeah,
I gotta piss.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
He's
there's
gonna
a
go drop a deuce.
there's the secondary like psychological
You know me too
angle,
well.
right? And like there's a lot of data to support that there's a disproportionate that's what about mama. So there's like there's a lot of data to support that there's a disproportionate suicide rate, a disproportionate rate of mental illness. And like, are these things a cause or are these things an effect or do they have nothing to do with it? But like the thing is, due to toxic positivity and legally only being able to support these people and only ever support these people, never allowed to ask them a question. Who's to say that half of these people aren't gender dysphoria? Who's to say we're not toxically supporting sick people and telling them that they're living their truth when really they just need to talk to someone about it and get some shit figured out? Like that's a big
those
concern.
are incredibly important. Those are very important questions, and I think to expand on what you're saying, the biggest problem is because of the toxic positivity, which I fucking love. I'm going to steal that. Because of that, we're pushing the results faster than we have the testing and the answers for things that we need before we can actually start pushing these people towards it, because they're pushing people to go through things that they haven't fully tested and they don't understand yet. And unfortunately, they don't know why they're getting the numbers they're getting. And it seems pretty obvious to some people that when the suicide rate is higher, I think the account for self-mutilation was up, like it's like 4 or 5 times higher. It's some like abhorrent number that these people are really in need of some type of discussion with, counselors or whatever. For some reason, and that came out wrong, but for some reason, they're having these issues that it seems like psychologists and people studying the issue, they're either ignoring or they just have thrown their hands up and say, well, fuck it, let them do it anyway.
I feel like they're being forced to ignore it because if you say anything against these people, like, I mean, like psychiatrists have already tried, psychologists have already tried. Like, look at Jordan Peterson. He says one bad thing and people shit all over his desk.
The ones that are prominent that they're showing in the media and everything, I think those ones are doing it on purpose.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, like, also, I think like any publicity is good publicity at this point, and I think like to help people, sometimes you need to stand in their way and be like, whoa, slow down. Before we like start preaching this shit like it's the Bible to kids, why don't we do some actual scientific research on it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You can't be a yes man and expect to help anybody. That's feed them what they want to hear, and that's bad. That's being disingenuous.
Like if in 20 years all these things still exist and like these people still feel this way, then like cool, and there's scientific data to back it up, then like cool. But like if in 20 years there's not scientific data to back it up, and it turns out I was just being toxically supportive of people who were like actually sick and suffering, and I was just like helping them live that fantasy and like making them actually sicker, like I'll feel like a piece of shit for that. So I'm waiting for there to be some actual data about it.
Right. There's something that hasn't been analyzed here, and it's like whenever you go into any venture, whenever you take an action on anything, it doesn't matter what it is, whether you get up out of bed in the morning or whether you blink twice in a conversation, it's a benefit to risk ratio, why you would do one thing versus why you wouldn't. And the problem is all these things have not been calculated properly, and we're walking our way into a huge problem with it. And a lot of it, look at anybody who would say since the non-binary and since the trans things have taken such big steps in the last several years, if people said that the gay movement or the gay community hasn't taken like a lot of jabs for unnecessary reasons, they'd be a fool if they said they hadn't noticed that, because it's almost like they're eating themselves. It's like, you have as soon as they were saying, oh, now the rainbow flag is no good, then rainbow flag is oppressive. Give me
Well,
a
now
fucking
there's
break.
different flags, and now they're trying to get no maps and
Exact-
maps in, and like
Exactly.
I do not agree with people who associate like that's why I can't say that
Oh,
definitively I'm an
anybody
ally
who
of that.
supports maps, I think, deserves a kick in the face with a golf
Yeah,
shoe.
that's
But,
why I no longer like parade about that. Like I used to be able to say, yeah, I'm an ally, I support these people. They just want rights like everybody else. But now like you're supporting the rights of someone in something that I cannot believe in. I cannot believe in rights for specifically maps, no maps, don't care,
no,
no rights,
no.
no understanding.
I spent too much time at a children's hospital and saw too much suffering in there when my daughter was sick, and
Yeah, that's kind
anything
of
with
just
kids,
a one
man,
way street with me, man. Like there's only one. So like,
Do you mind sharing what your daughter had?
So she was diagnosed at the age of 2 with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and she passed away July 10th, 2011 at 6:51 in the morning.
Brother,
She fought up the
I had no idea. I didn't mean to ask it like that, but I do appreciate you sharing that with us. And I am, dude, I can't, sorry to hear that happened, man.
Hey, man, I don't wish it on my worst enemy, but I'll say that I don't mind sharing anything about my daughter because my little Bella monster was the shit, and I'm a much better man for having known her.
She sounds like the shit, to be quite honest with you. So, the fact that, you are where you are here today because of, her journey, I think says a lot about, her spirit. So, dude, much respect to you and much respect to that. So, fucking A, man. God damn, that hit hard, dude. Fuck.
I didn't mean to bring it down.
No,
you're good,
dude.
man.
Fuck you for don't you dare apologize. You did no such thing, sir. So don't do
Ooh, I
that.
love it
Don't
when you talk me
apologize. Forging, don't even do that.
Fine.
Where the fuck
but yeah,
were we now? Shit, though. Fuck.
Because of that shit, honestly, like I piss off a lot of people with this, and I lose a lot of people with this. I think the death penalty should be expanded for people who are violent child molesters. That's just my own opinion, but that's because I care so much about kids. I think anybody that would pray and actually make the conscious decision to prey on the most innocent beings that we have on this planet that know nothing but fucking joy and happiness, and their fucking hand and their parents are the most important thing in the world to them because they're just cute little fucking angels who do nothing wrong. Anybody who would willingly prey on that consciously is a fucking monster, and they're inhuman, and they deserve to go. They're a waste of resources.
Yep. And like
Seriously, I can't argue that.
yeah, I had this very conversation with like one of my friends the other day. I was like let's just like dive into this mindset for a second, right? Like you, an adult, knowing that you are larger, knowing that you are stronger, knowing that there is no chance of this small person resisting you, decide to make this decision, this horrible fucking like. You gotta like decide to do that, follow through with it. Like I don't think I'm capable of finding a scenario where I show mercy to someone who does that. I just personally, I cannot. Like personally, it's just like to the gallows, man. Like that's the solution.
Even trying to come up with the mindset of someone who would be able to rationalize something like that enrages me. And I can't even.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know what I mean?
We're listen, I don't want, man, whatever. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but it does feel like we're about 7 years away from the P word being added to the alphabet people.
I'm
think not gonna lie.
I think they're like low key already there. I think they're already protected.
From what
and
I've heard
supported.
from the people I know in the community, they're not having it.
You think that'll be firmly fought against?
Absolutely.
I've also heard people in the community on the other side, and they actually like it literally went to the point where I had a good friend no longer be my friend because of my stance. And I'm just like, okay.
Forging, are you familiar with what MAPS are? Minor attracted persons?
Yes, that's what we were just talking about that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. My apologies, but just like the fact that some people call somebody a map as opposed to a pedophile already shows me the thought process they're going down. Like, I don't know, like That is
It's as bad as people who argue, well, a pedophile just means someone who's attracted to this age range. Shut the fuck up. It's the same fucking thing.
like,
There's no justification for that.
and I was gonna say, and listen, I'm not trying to justify, but my point of the matter is, I couldn't imagine what it would be like for a scumbag like that to be like, I can't help myself. I don't know what this is like. I don't know if we're allowed to help them at all.
Then we'll put you out of your fucking misery.
Listen, dude, I'm being honest with you though. Like as somebody who doesn't want to see, like, let's just say you've never hurt anybody, but you have those fucking horrible thoughts. As a society, what do you expect us to do besides the worst thing to you, man?
If someone analyzes you, what is the likelihood of you doing it? Let's say hypothetically you got analyzed by somebody, right? What was their decided likelihood of you acting on those feelings?
Have you ever heard of somebody like giving that person like those fake dolls or something like that?
I think
like,
if you give someone like that, those
what if
fake
you
dolls,
gave
you're
them
just
a
letting them
fake
practice.
doll and
So
like left them
here's what I would say to that.
by themselves and like you could never leave this fucking squared off?
Josh, here's what I'd say to that: is anybody who's of the mind where they're conscious enough and they're rational enough to say, I think these thoughts and I'm aware that they are not normal, and I'm telling people and they're letting it be known that this is a thing. That person is obviously seeking counseling, and there
Listen.
might be some way to keep them from acting on those thoughts because they're admitting something is fucking broken in my brain, and
Are you
maybe
blowing me?
assisted suicide isn't on
Are
the
you
cards
blowing my
yet.
spot up right now? Are you trying to blow my spot up right now? No, listen, I'm joking. Like, because it does kind of seem like that was my position, but what you're saying is totally true. But my point is, was more of a devil's advocate mindset that if we keep going this way and we play to sensitivities of everybody, we're gonna come into this problem where now we're like, well, listen, this guy, he just feels that way, but he hasn't acted like that. Like, well, as a society, since that's what you said, you need to make sure nobody's offended, and we don't like. What do you do with somebody
and
like that?
And this is why I said earlier, we need to put all the facts on the board and say, hey, buddy, all those feelings, shut the fuck up and look at the board. These are the facts. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, and like, let's just stop trying to like argue that those other types of people are people, because like anybody who does that is not a person. You give
They're
up your
people,
humanity.
but they're
Yeah.
listen, check it out. And this is gonna sound crazy. They're people, but they're people who have no way of redeeming themselves. That's it. Like
That's
they're
fair. No
they're
redeemable
people,
quality.
but guess what? They're people with zero redeeming quality, and they have to be treated as such.
And the reason
They're not able to be rehabilitated. They're not able to like be reintroduced to life because they're like.
Sorry, I'm pulling the people card.
Okay, go ahead, pull it.
Yeah, pulling their. If they act on those absolutely abhorrent feelings, and they hurt a child, and they actually assault a child, they are no longer a person because that act is inhuman. So there you go.
But my question is, and I will keep doing this because that's fucking me, dude. I will fucking play devil's advocate all day, and it's weird as fuck. I don't care what it sounds like, but what if somebody comes to you and says, listen, I've never acted on it, but this is what I think, and I will never act on it, but this is what I think. To me,
And see, that right there, it goes into what I was saying earlier, that the people who come forward and say, I need help because this is what I'm thinking and I know it's wrong, that's admitting that they understand they're broken. The problem is, for every person that comes forward and says, I'm broken, I thought this and it's disgusting and I know it's disgusting, what do I do? For every one person that does that, there's going to be a large number out there that don't. And
right.
that's where you got to kind of be like, what do we do?
I'm torn in the sense that if somebody comes to me and asks for help, like the human in me is like, dude, no problem, let's do it. But then you tell me what your problem was and why you need help. Then the other side of the human in me wants to be like, dude, you're not allowed to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's no fixing that. Like
Right.
literally
right.
the only other option is is that thing I suggested. And that was me suggesting it as a person who is human. Like, you give them a doll and you tell them they live on an island by themselves with everybody else who's like that. Like,
one day that's
is it
not
up
enough.
to us to unalive them?
Yeah.
No, I'm just, it's more for conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, like,
And
ultimately,
see, I
wouldn't it
would
be?
think that someone who'd be willing to
I
come
think it's-
forward and I would imagine that anyone willing to come forward and say, I have this problem and I recognize it, that's a different mindset altogether. One of the things I study in psychology is there's a certain mindset that goes along with psychopathy or psychopathy, that if someone who is so dejected and so far gone from normal human emotion and normal responsibility and normal morality, that they are willing to commit something as horrible as assaulting a child, then they are so far gone, they would never in a million years be the one to come forward and say, I have a problem and I recognize it, because
Yes.
they themselves would not actually recognize it as being a problem. So anybody who would come forward and say, this is in my head and I know it's wrong, that's somebody who is actually looking for help. And I think those people probably are available for some kind of treatment, because I don't think anybody who would assault a child would ever come forward like that. I don't think that's the way their mind works.
I can't summarize what you said as more than perfect, because that's exactly my thought process, and you called me on pretty much the idea I was trying to set up. Brilliantly played, brilliantly responded to, but the idea is, like, at the end of the day, yeah, somebody who would come out and say, yeah, like how do you treat those people? Guess what? Those people who come out and say they have that feeling probably have already committed that crime. Okay. There is no way for me, this is going to sound harsh, but for me, there is no way to treat those people. I don't think I could ever be the person who said, yeah, for sure, give them that and let them go live off over there. Like, I don't even think that's worth it.
It costs money.
The give them that is
But here's the
problem,
thing.
I have a problem
If
with.
you're pro-life, you can't just send somebody to die. So what do?
Well, who said anything about pro-life? That has nothing to do with killing non-humans.
No. Well, listen.
Manny makes a fair point.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But the broader point is there are some people who would argue that and be like, listen, I'm pro-life, yet they wouldn't hesitate to, end somebody's life without kind of thinking about what is involved with that. Dude, there is a lot of intricacies in the human life, a lot of nuances that I think get left to the wayside when it comes to the extremes. And but one of the extremes I will never agree with is what we're talking about is doing bad things to little children. I think there is no
inexcusable.
Yeah, there is no way you could tap dance around. Like, I was trying to ask that, to see how much people could bend, how much people could give, and for me, it proves my thought process, my ideology, that it's just like, it doesn't matter which way I slice it. There is one thing, whether if I'm pro-life or pro-choice, there is one thing that's instilled in me, that's instilled in the human construct, that if you have that view towards children,
defend the little ones.
That's it. It's not even defend the little ones. It's just that predatory, that thought process towards the innocent, towards the little ones. Sure, I think it stretches further than that. I think that type of mindset can go into other predatory actions.
Oh, very easily.
Well,
is my point.
I would argue that if you've displayed that you are willing to assault a child and you can make that decision, like you have made the choice, hey, this seems like a normal thing, I'm going to do this, and you actually assault a child, you have just proven to the rest of society that you have no real emotion that equates to a human behavior, you have no morality, and you have no willingness to behave like a human being that would recognize what humanity needs and what humanity is. You have displayed that you're an animal, and you're pretty much, like I said, a waste of resources. In my opinion, like if I was putting my emotions into it, I would say let's put them on a fucking pike. But, you know, this isn't Romania, and my name ain't Vlad, it's Chad.
Well,
So
no.
Can't do that. Let's take the emotions out of it.
Why can't you though? Like, why are we at a point in time in 2022 where we support that kind of ideology? Like, why can't we say something like that? Why can't we call out something that is bad? We have to sit here and kind of like figure out, well, that's why we think it's bad first. Oh, because it's literally you want to fuck kids, you piece of shit.
Because people get into the human rights argument of it, and that's when you have to come up with that that compromise I was talking about. You have to figure out a reliable compromise, because otherwise you're going to have the same polarizing things of don't kill child molesters, kill child molesters. You're going to have the two sides arguing with each other. And like I'm just standing there with a pointy stick going, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah. Hey, come on, I gotta shove this up somebody's ass.
I don't think that's an identifiable human trait, though.
Yeah.
Like to have the human argument, you need to like for you to argue that that person is a human, right? You would have to like link that to some human trait, and I don't think that's linkable to a human trait. Like maybe it's an illness.
I would agree.
Maybe we find out in like
it's very animalistic
years that it's like some weird instinct driven, like they got this imbalance or that imbalance. But like for now, right? Because the risk is too great. Because if you try to treat it and the treatment doesn't work, what do we have? We just have some sick fucks who get off by fucking little kids. So like like why would you try and treat that? Because that's the risk, right? That's what you're risking. That is what's at stake if you get it wrong. But if you get it wrong, it's just more of the fucking same.
There are people arguing right now that it is a symptom, that is it's a defect. Like he'll get there. Like there are people who really perceive that in 4 years that P word will be added to LGBTQ plus. That you'll have that there.
I don't think it'll happen.
That's scary.
I don't think it'll happen.
Dude, I'm with you. God damn, I hope not. But the shit I've seen out there with people who kind of are for Reddit, stuff like that, you know, some of the articles we've covered over the years, like there are people who are trying to maps a minor, like they've changed pedophilia to the word minor attracted person.
Here's the thing, though.
Google Maps.
That crowd insanity we were talking about earlier. Because most of the people arguing for maps to be part of that community aren't part of that community. They're from the outside, and they're trying to argue. Just like most of the people arguing for Black Lives Matter are white people who are fucking reeing it up. It's people who aren't actually part of the community saying that. I haven't met. I know a lot of people in the gay community. I haven't met one of them that's for the maps thing. Whenever you bring up maps, they're like, "Fuck that! Get that the fuck out of here."
Same here. No, you're 100% correct. I think we were talking about earlier about like this weird, there's like this social media you and this real world you. Do you remember that? I don't know what our conversation was.
It's the face. It's the shell that everybody puts on. Like you have these.
It's the virtue signaling.
Yeah. Like
right.
Well, like for most of these people, and I would almost argue like 99.9% of these people, and I could almost single it out to like a specific side. Not to say there's not people on the right that wouldn't back up their views face to face, but I think a majority in the current political climate of people who would not have the same view if they were in public and people could like, you know, give them consequences for what they're saying, I think it would be the left. I don't think they would back it up if it came to it. They want violent revolution, right? But once the bullets start flying, they're not going to be the ones fighting the fucking war. It's going to be the people that didn't want violent revolution. We're going to have to clean up their mess, and then they're going to turn around, and it's going to be more of the same bullshit. They're going to try and tell us it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, fuck violent revolution. We don't need it because they're not going to back it up with shit. It's just words. They're just trying to get someone else to do it so that they could put their ideals forward in the chaos.
Have you ever heard the term, you know, the left doesn't have kids, it has your kids?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't heard it, but I'm going to steal it.
But it kind of, it's going to work against them sometime.
Let's change to guns or something, because I'm kind of worried that y'all might get a strike if we keep talking about this.
Yeah, no, like, listen, at this point, it is what it is. It's the last show of Stuck on Night in studio. So listen, we're not trying to get a strike, but I don't think talking about something like this designates a strike on something that is such a, it shouldn't be a taboo subject. It like
Shouldn't be.
like
It shouldn't be, but
like I shouldn't be allowed to play devil's advocate to try to kind of trick your guys's brain into explaining why. Well, why isn't this bad? Like how come there are these people who identify as maps out there, yet YouTube allows stuff like this? It's just fucking weird, man. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is fuck that.
Fuck that.
Forging Thought, do you have anything else, sir? Do you have anything else for us that you'd like to kind of ponder over? We kind of, we spent an inordinate time over
yeah, I'm sorry
maps
to
and
monopolize your
pedophiles.
time.
No,
We were-
not at all. It was very enjoyable. I like the fact that we were able to tackle a bunch of different topics. That was very cool. So not at all.
I got something for you really quick, Josh.
Yeah, please.
A couple shows ago, I heard somebody say something about you have a crazy theory about pizza toppings. What is this theory?
Crazy theory about pizza toppings.
Eli said something about you having a crazy theory about like pizza toppings or some kind of system with pizza toppings, and it's been bugging the hell out of me. I want to know what that is.
Okay, let me see. Well, okay, I already know what you mean by pizza toppings. I get that part, so I'm trying to figure out like what my crazy theory would be. Like all I know is the pizza toppings.
I thought it was actually about pizza toppings. Like,
oh no, like I mean, these are toppings you would put on a pizza that may or may not be hallucinogenic, such as mushrooms.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what he was talking about. But there's probably some epiphanies he was trying to bring up. I don't know. Are you?
Okay.
Do you yonder down that way, sir?
What's that? Like
Down the
drugs and
pizza
shit?
toppings. Yeah. Do you fuck with pizza toppings like that?
I've never done hallucinogens. Never.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with people doing it. I don't have a problem with people doing a lot of shit. It's just something that's never really been my thing.
No problem. What did you think Eli was talking about when he was talking about?
Because I am a very Italian man with a fat kid Italian heart. I actually thought he was talking about pizza.
Yes. You were like, yo, does this motherfucker put olives on his pizza? Is he a fucking pineapple
I'm just
motherfucker?
thinking when I heard it, I was like, if there's some better way, if there's another level to deciding what I get on today's pizza, then I need to know this.
Forging, I'm gonna ask you this: what do you get on your pizza?
Oh, it depends on where I get it from.
Let's just say the average. On average, when you're allowed to get a pizza, whether it be cheese, pepperoni, meat lovers, let's just say on average, when you're available to get a pizza, yeah, what is your most go-to
your
pizza?
Average Joe Blow, just regular pizza place, the regular chains. I usually, believe it or not, I'll order, depending on the place, usually I'll look at their vegetarian pizza and then I'll add sausage because the shit that comes on the vegetarian pizza is pretty fucking good, and then I add sausage to it and it's amazing. Or I do pepperoni, olive, mushroom, and onion is one of my go-tos.
I fucking hate olives, bro. I hate olives so much. But I will get sausage.
Why?
I don't know, dude. I just hate them. I don't like the way they taste. I'll get banana pepper. I'll get pepperoni. I'll get sausage. I'll get onion. I'll get all of them.
Do you do pineapple? Do you do pineapple on pizza?
Fuck pineapple, dude.
We can still be friends.
Okay, good. Thank God. Adam, do you get pineapple on pizza?
Fuck yeah.
What?
Salty sweet,
Like
man.
I love pineapple, but it does not belong on pizza.
Forging. Adam
try
just
it,
said
bro.
he gets pineapple on pizza. Have you ever tried it, Forging? By any chance? I haven't.
Have I tried pineapple on pizza?
Yeah.
Of course I've tried it. I try everything I know that I don't like.
Not good.
Dude, no, you know what? Respect, because I honestly have never tried it. I just think I don't like it, but the fact that you tried it and don't like it, I have much more
I
respect
just
for
don't.
that.
I like it by itself. I love the juice. I just don't like it on pizza.
What-
Now, one of the best cheeseburgers in the world has a pineapple on it, but I just don't like it on pizza.
What was bad about with the pizza? Like you know what I mean? Like when you bit into the pizza, was it the consistency of the pineapple, or was it the mix of like that acidic?
It's just such a shock. It's like if you were biting into a pork rib and all of a sudden there was an apple chunk in your mouth. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it wouldn't necessarily be bad. You would just be like,
I got you. I got you.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
It caught you off guard.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing this for, you fucking asshole?
It's really good if you have like other salty things in there, like ham and anchovies. Ooh.
Oh, dude, what the
Okay.
fuck
Don't
are
like
you
anchovies,
eating?
But I tell you what, you take a cheeseburger, slap some teriyaki sauce and a pineapple on that with some grilled onions, you got one of the best fucking burgers on the planet.
Forging's all in. He's good to go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. Just don't put it on my fucking pizza, you fucking freak.
It's good on pizza though.
Noted.
Good shit, man. Well, dude, Forging, dude, thank you so much for calling in, man. That was fucking awesome, man. We had a
Absolutely, dude. I saw you toss up the number. I figured, why not?
yeah, dude, we had
And good to finally chat with you too. Nice to talk to you.
yes, very much so. Good to finally chat with you as well. Like we said, we're gonna be like Adam and I may kick it for a second or two just to kind of wrap up, but I hope you do stick around.
I got the show up right now. So
Are you on Facebook or anything like that? Can I get in touch with you anywhere else besides YouTube? Or
I tell you what, I still haven't opened my Facebook, and I'm seeing how long I can go with it. But I got email and shit,
all right,
and you can actually. Eli's got my phone number too.
okay, cool. I will get your phone number through Eli. We'll talk. We'll all figure something out. And I'd like to maybe have you on again. Maybe when Eli can't come on. Maybe when Adam can't come on. Something like that. You know, we got to do it over Zoom now, as it is the last In Stuck Studio show. So Forging, dude, what a great time for you to come on, man, dude. Last show the fucking ever, dude. Fucking well played, bro.
Fucking A, brother.
Well played. Forging, thank you so much. Where can people find you at? Give yourself a plug somewhere.
So it's just going to be YouTube. Name's Forging Thought, and it's a picture of my ugly mug with sunglasses and a mohawk. Can't miss it.
That's what's up, man. Hopefully we can get you a sub or two, and that'd be awesome. And we'll talk again soon, my brother. Okay?
Excellent.
All right, man.
See you later.
Forging Thought, dude. Dude, that was almost 2 hours with Forging Thought on the phone. We're pushing 113 minutes.
Sure.
Damn, man, you look tired as fuck, man. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm vibing, man. I'm having fun. This is great.
When'd you bail out of Stuck, man? When'd you leave Stuck at night? Stuck in the middle. Oh, yeah, you left before it became Stuck at Night.
I did. That was
Why,
like,
dude?
That was like I don't know.
Why,
I don't
bro?
know.
Why'd you leave, bro?
I don't know.
You made a bad mistake, bro.
A little bit. It was like a nice break though. But I
Bail out of
missed
Stuck,
it,
man.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
A lot of Stuck.
You were around when we brought Brian on before, right? Have you were with Lupo?
Yeah, with Lupo.
Yeah.
When the first couple times he came on, yeah.
Love when Lupo comes on. I thank you for coming on.
Oh.
I thank Eli for coming on. This is the last in show fucking studio,
It's
man.
weird.
It is very weird, man. Do you remember when you first came on?
I do. I was in this chair.
When we were like, yo, you know what? Let's do a podcast because fuck that other show because they never want to talk about politics.
And then all we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, we did though. We were kind of overcompensating.
Yeah, it was like, but like you almost like it was almost necessary.
It was our opinion though.
Mhm.
It wasn't as if we were trying to say we knew what we're talking about and this is the facts. It's just like, well, this is how we just want to talk about it. We want to talk about, does this
You
make
can't
sense?
talk about
Is it-
shit nowadays.
Yeah. Well, when you can't verbalize something out loud, sometimes you can't really make heads or tails of it. You got to kind of hear it formulated. You got to hear it said out loud before you can be like, well, that doesn't sound right. Or yeah, that sounds spot on. Or the best thing, you say it out loud and you're like, yeah, that sounds spot on. Somebody else is like, no, you fucking asshole. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And you get challenged on it.
Yeah, like and the beauty is within the challenge, and the beauty is when you get challenged, not curling up into a ball and plugging your ears and trying to talk louder than the next person, and actually hearing what the challenge is. Because like worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario for you saving face in the scenario is you're wrong and you learn something.
God forbid.
Like, and are we also like stuck up in our fucking ways and shit that like, oh, we cite school as the best years of our life. We cite all the shit that we fucking learned. But like, are we saying that that's when the learning ends? Are we saying that like we're incapable of learning more? Are we saying that people are incapable of changing their opinions? Are we saying that people are incapable of change? Because if people are incapable of change, then what the fuck is the point of trying, bro? Like, what's the point? So, like, if we're going to admit that, then we admit that there's no point. So, like, what's the point?
I think a big lesson is to always know that everybody has a little bit in them to go the other way. Like, give them the leeway to figure it out. Like, if you just jump down their throat, you're not going to solve anything. You know,
You're just gonna
conversation
get
is always key.
standoffish, yeah.
That's essentially stuck in the middle, stuck in night, started over conversation, not being allowed to conversate. No, don't talk about this. We can't. No. And we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's hear your thought on it. Let's hear my thought. Let's hear the most stupid of stupid thoughts on it. Let me hear Josh's thought on it. It's the worst thought ever, but let me hear his thought.
I could pinpoint probably, because like now that I've had like a couple minutes to think about it, I could probably pinpoint when I fell out of love with it.
When
we were trying to have that very conversation that we just had, and about a specific show that was going on and problems with it, and we got struck like 5 times back to back to back. They weren't letting us, like, it. We created the show with the idea of free speech, and here we were being fucking censored. Like, they were literally not allowing us to do the thing that we came on to do.
right?
So like it just like it didn't feel fulfilling after that, you know, because now it became like something where it's like now when we talk about something now it's like, oh, we got to fucking tiptoe around this, got to tiptoe, and then it just becomes like,
Yeah, but that was YouTube. When you were part of that was Facebook. There were a few things we had to tip around, but
it was just frustrating.
honestly, for the most part, we never got any strikes, YouTube strikes, until in June. Let's just say June 1st, 2022, till 3 weeks after June 1st, 2022. Like, that was and those episodes were over a year and a half ago. On Facebook, yeah, we battled with some shit, back and forth. And, it was we were trying to find our footing, find our ground, stuff like that.
But that was like before we had before you guys had the presence on YouTube, and it was just like there wasn't another. At least at the time, at the very moment, it didn't seem like there was an out for it. It just kind
There
of like,
still isn't an out.
for me,
by
it
the way.
just seemed like the walls were closing in, and I was just like, fuck. So like, what am I not going to be able to say next week? Like, we're going to be talking about fucking fairies and unicorns and all the shit they want us to talk about.
And how
then,
far did that get you?
boom, on the screen. Fairies and unicorns now illegal to talk about. So
Yeah.
now you can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Like fucking.
Oh, I totally could have talked about it. Fuck.
yeah,
I
you're
fucked
just
up.
like, shit.
Well, there is the cool thing about Future is the future is available to everyone. So you never know if you can get a streaming camera set up, if you can get yourself set up, like even with, I can even hook you up with one of these little mics before I go, and you have a nice little board. We can put aside a day where while we're up there, one of the stuck at night days, when Eli can't do it, it's an Adam day.
Mhm.
Eli does maybe, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and you can do Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Eli does Monday, Thursdays. Maybe Forging Thought does Tuesdays. Maybe you do Wednesdays. It depends on what your schedule is, depends on what everybody's schedule is. I think for me, the biggest point is where it could go and how much more fun we could have if it's a little more open and, allowing everybody to come on and not just like, if we don't, if me and Eli can't be on that day, then we can't be on that day. Like, no, like it's a little more scheduled, regimented. That's what I would like. So.
And I think the beauty with like having it, like, even though it's sad to see the end of an era with the end of the studio,
it's
right?
the end of an era.
It's almost a chance for new opportunities, because like now there's almost more opportunities for Stuck to go live. Now there's almost more opportunities for Stuck to get exposure, right? Because like now, if we're all doing it like on a Zoom based thing where we're like not used to being face to face and interacting with each other like that, now that opens up potential for Stuck to go live whenever the fuck.
Right, but you also have to keep in mind that people like a schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a point to maintain and keep a schedule so people can understand that, hey, guess what? Every time I wake up, I do my morning schedule, but I know that at 10 p.m., 10:30 at nighttime, I can count on Stuck at Night to be there and I can listen to their show.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, well, sometime today, maybe Stuck will come on.
Well, I meant more so in the lines of like whenever the fuck, meaning like there's more days in the week that become available at that point, you know, because like, oh, we might not be able to drive on a Tuesday, but if the drive's taken out of it, what's the excuse then? You know,
I would love to have a Monday through Friday show, 10 to 12, figure out something after that, but just something regular that people can count on. A nice late night show. We have some fun. We kick some topics around. Even if we have to rotate hosts, it is what it is. But just to keep Stuck at Night alive, I don't want anybody feeling burnt out. I know Eli ain't feeling burnt out whatsoever, but also too, I know it's hard for people to be spread out, commit to many shows a week. So I think we can figure something out. Is what I'm saying.
Sure.
I would love to. We got Forge and Thought. We got you on board. The old number 3. What's everybody saying in the chat? Hook us up with some. I can't see far away. I'm blind now. I can't see. What is unspecified saying? Let's read that one. You got to read in the mic, man.
Pineapple and ham or pineapple and bacon is good.
Damn. How dare you, unspecified?
There's a second part, though. Wait.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, I can. Maybe. Hang on. I can't.
It's making it hard to read, dude.
You got to read in the mic, man. You're
I
not
like
getting
pineapple
it.
on
Dude,
a creamy
listen,
I had
it's
to say
Adam's
it to
first time back
remember
for a
it,
while.
bro.
You just read it while you talk about
I like
it.
pineapple on a creamy pizza.
Look at that,
No
dude.
sauce,
He's getting
though.
it. You're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
it, man. That's fantastic.
But I agree. Pineapple has its place on the right. I don't say that pineapple belongs on every pizza.
Bro, listen, it's 3:30. Before we get the fuck out of here, let me see if there's anything else we could play. Oh,
Is there?
I got it.
We got
I
something.
got it. This is perfect. And then we'll get the F out of here.
Shit, yeah. Chicka.
You know who
Yeah.
Bill Burr is?
Bill Burr.
You know?
I know Bill Burr.
Who is he?
He's
Talk
like
to me,
the
fam.
chubby, like
Chubby
middle-
ain't chubby? Huh? You know?
Chubby
He ain't
boomer
chubby?
guy.
I don't know. You know? No, come on, man. What a perfect observation by Bill Burr. For the week, we've played his opinion on abortion. We played his opinion on what an abortion is via a cake, which was fantastic, by the way. So there's one more I'd like to play before we get out of here officially for good forever. This is Bill Burr's take on curses in front of race. So he has pretty much one of the best takes on like how like if you're about like, okay, check it out. A white fuck or a fucking white? What sounds worse?
Fucking white.
Right, exactly. Not you white fuck,
Yeah,
But-
that sounds like a joke.
but you put the curse in front of the race.
That sounds mean.
You fucking white. It sounds worse. Dude, Bill Burr does a fantastic job. I'd like to share with our small group world. Whoa, hey, oh. Hang on.
Race of the person.
Here we go.
We're white dudes, we always put it in front. And if we would just make that little adjustment, we could save so many careers, so many jobs could be saved in the white community if we would just put it after. You never notice that in conversation? You hear a black guy being like, man, I was standing there, this Asian motherfucker came in, he started talking about, you don't even hear it. You're just sitting there, oh, what did this Asian motherfucker do? I would love to hear the rest of this story, right? Dude, I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's like, whoa, hey, easy, dude. What year is it, you know? It's like, dude, I just said what he said. I just preempted the fuck. That's all I did. He suggested he's hooking up with people's mothers. I'm not even doing that. It's just a quick, I got it out of the way. Like, I noticed
Bro,
black people have the
such brilliant Such brilliance.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. It's not, and it's your intent. And for whatever reason, when you use the curse word in front of race, it sounds a lot worse than when you use the curse word after race. Like, for instance, how I used to do with Eli, you Jew motherfucker, you know, with the soundboard in Casino. Had I done you motherfucking Jew, you, oh my God. Oh, right.
Offensive. Abhorrent.
I gotta take a shower now.
Yeah.
But Martin Scorsese
Made it tasteful.
like a son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like a son of a bitch. He
He
knew
slipped
exactly
it in
what
there,
was
man.
up.
He was like, yo, I'm going to be as
Yeah.
racist as possible.
He knew
without
exactly
being
what
as
was up.
racist as possible.
Let me see here, brother man.
There it is.
I don't want to go. You could probably tell it's 3:30. You could probably tell it's 3:30 in the morning. I've been pushing it off because I don't want to go. I'm not done yet. I don't want to go. I'm going to miss all my friends. I'm going to miss everybody who I could have in the studio. I'm not going to see them anymore. I'll see them over Zoom. I'll see you over Zoom. I'll see Eli over Zoom. It's just not going to be the same. So, 3 years. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for being a part of that. Thank you, Eli, for being a part of that. You know, everybody else who came by when they could. Brian, Roms, Brock, the Trop D boys. A lot of people. I can go on, but I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and especially everyone who can come in studio. So, hey, it's not goodbye. It's I'll see you later. Adam, do you have anything else to say? You want to add anything to the aura of what is Stuck in the Middle, Stuck at Night?
It's been a wild ride. I think we all learned a lot about ourselves and what we're capable of. And not just that, but like the importance of the message. There's been people who stuck around, people who didn't stick around. And I mean, like, it's just a comparison to life. So there's going to be people that don't stick around, but Stuck's evolving yet again. And I think it's for the better.
And sometimes you'll have people who come back around.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know? So, listen, everybody else who joined us for this last live show for a little bit until we reinvent the wheel for ourselves. Thank you so much. Indy, Sexy Ducks, Forging Thought, who called for a hot fucking 2 hours, unspecified. Dude, Progressive Patriot, obviously Eli, I'm just scrolling up as we go. So if I forgot you, my bad. Thank you, Brian Lupo, for coming on. All is well that ends well, so let's end this well. And with that said, we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, have a good day, bro.
All right, bro. Have a good day, bro.